I want to have the best fucking life with my wife and kids. I really do.
How old are your kids?
9 and 6.
Yeah. You had a scare, right?
Well, I've got 2 sons. So my first son, his name is Dakota. Yeah, Dakota is an amazing child, but when he was born, his eyes weren't tracking. So like, they always say like, hey, the eyes should be tracking, make sure everything is healthy. And when he was born, like I noticed that was like something weird. So we went to the pediatrician after the first month. He would like turn his head and his eyes would kind of stay there. And then they would like kind of slowly come over. And so I said to the pediatrician, hey, this is happening. Like, what should we do? And she was like, oh, some kids just take a little bit more time to develop. And, it didn't change after 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. I was like, hey, this isn't changing. Like, what should we do? We should see a specialist. And they referred us to this optometrist or ophthalmologist, whichever it was. That woman said, I don't really know. I think you should go see a pediatric neurologist.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, is like, oh gosh, a neurologist, that's a little scary. So we went to the pediatric neurologist, and he just did not have great bedside manner and was like very didn't make it like super comfortable for us, which is what it is. But ultimately did an MRI and found that his cerebellum was shaped differently by a couple of millimeters. And so they said, okay, well, we want to run a massive gene study on him and the 2 of you. And now Donna and I are scared because they didn't really allude to any, potential of what this could be, but they were like, we want to run a gene study. And so that gene study took 3 or 4 months. They took our blood at the same time all together. And then they called us into the office. He was about 6 or 7 months old. And they were like, we've got some stuff to talk to you about. And Donna and I were like, okay. And they said there's 2 genes, mutated genes, that we identified in his gene study. One of them is from you, Michael. One of them is from you, Donna. The good news is the 2 genes are not identical, meaning, you have 2 sets of genes. If there's a mutation on a specific gene and another mutation on a specific gene, it's very, very easy to identify exactly what it is. But the 2 different mutated genes have only been recorded less than a dozen times in history, the 2 different mutated genes that he has. And so they said, there's 2 things. One, there's a good chance he'll never walk. And Donna and I were like, what?
Wow.
And they were like, he has a very low muscle tone potential disorder, and there's a good chance that he won't walk. And I'm, at that point, like devastated. And then they follow that up by saying, and out of the 12 or so recorded situations like this that we have, 30% of the children developed a terminal brain cancer. So he's going to need to get an MRI every 6 months until he's 8 years old. And I mean, talk about like...
That's as heavy as it gets, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know what to make of that. Donna and I were just completely gutted. The gene doctor and the neurologist, I can't imagine what it would have to be like to tell a set of parents that, right? They're very poker faced. There was like very little like emotion from them, because I can only imagine that that's something that they have to do relatively often, and it's just not, they're talking about somebody's
I
like
could never do that.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I'm grateful that I have tools. That was like a very, very, very difficult time. And I just kind of went into this mode where I was like, no. Like that's not going to be the case with my son. No way. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm gonna fight this one. Just like I fought my addiction, just like I fought in the ring of Muay Thai, just like I fought for that first marathon I ran, just like, I was like, I know how to fight. I know how to fight. I'm gonna fucking fight. And we did. We got immediate early intervention, and we had a guy show up at our apartment 3 days a week. And I prayed my ass off. And Dakota is, he's fucking amazing.
He's doing good.
He plays. He does karate. He plays soccer. He jumps off.
Wow.
I was on the phone on the way over here today, and he was telling me how he fell off his four-wheeler. He's totally awesome.
So when he took his first steps, that must have been a big thing.
Didn't happen until he was 2 years and 2 months old. I had an unwavering belief that this kid was going to be okay.
Where does that come from?
I don't want to sound too woo-woo, but I have to, because I can't tell you what it comes from outside of the fact that I pray every day, and I've developed a relationship with a power greater than myself that I fucking believe takes care of me. Legit, I do. And I don't know what it is at all. I don't care. I don't question it. I don't analyze it. But I do know that I have a relationship that when shit goes down and when shit's not going down, I believe I can connect to and get through whatever I've got to get through. I mean, I'm sorry for getting emotional, but it's just like when I think about the kid, I love that human. And watching my son, watching him get watching him getting his karate belt promotion last week in there with all the rest of the kids. And he's got a balance issue, He'll probably have it until he gets old enough to realize that that it's happening, and then he's going to want to take action. Mm-hmm. But I can't tell you why I had that unwavering belief that he was going to be okay. And now it doesn't mean that I wasn't scared and I didn't have fear, but it does mean that I was able to fucking charge through it with courage. And that is what I think this sobriety thing is.
When you got emotional a moment ago, what was coming up for you?
I think it is, you asked me what is it? And I think in combination with me thinking about my son and how he's okay, and knowing that I have a relationship with God, I'm the luckiest guy sitting on the planet. Is that truly what it felt like for me? I believe that I am one of the luckiest guys.